You sound like a bull, like I'm at a bullfight, and like he sees me but he can't reach me.
You ever see the videos where they jump over the rail and run through the audience? That's when the good seats are the bad seats. Is that better?
Wow, yeah, that actually worked. Dude, that's amazing how something that stupid works.
Right?
Huh.
Here, let me turn down the music.
Wow, that's sweet.
Alright, cool. So you didn't hit the beach. Yeah, I'd probably wait at first too. Because you gotta figure it's probably a bunch of dummies that are there at first. Those are the ones you want to stay away from in the first place.
Yeah, and Miami beaches, the Miami beaches are closed, or they were, and so they were just driving over here and going to our beach. So all those Miami people are coming over here, and they got more cases over there than we have here. So I don't trust. Once their beach is open, I'll probably feel better about going more.
I was thinking about coming down there, but just renting something for a couple of weeks. Like a houseboat. And then when they're like, everyone leave the beach, I'll be like, cool, they all left. Oh, I'm home right now. That's how you get around that. It's a stay-at-home order, so you walk down the pier to your houseboat.
Yeah.
Then you have the beach to yourself, too. See?
There was a ban on short-term rentals here.
Really?
I don't know if it's gone. It's probably gone by now, but...
Oh, for like people who came in to go to Disney World and shit like that?
Yeah, or if you wanted to come down here for 2 weeks, you could, but
that's why you just rent a boat for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then they can't tell you what to do.
Some Airbnbs down here are boats. You start
getting razzed by the people there, or the cops, or whatever. I don't know what's going on, so I'm just guessing. Then you just move down a little bit further, see if it's cooler over here. Fuck that, just stay on the boat. And if they give you shit, just go out in the water for a while, week. Big enough houseboat or whatever where you could just get out there.
Yeah.
That. And go fishing every day for 2 weeks.
Oh, I'm sure people are doing that.
Well, if you went down there now and everything's restricted, pools and everything, there's nothing to do. You might as well do. That would be one thing you could do, though. You know? Mm-hmm. So all the other shit you would have done there, you're not doing anyway. You might as well just put that money in a houseboat for 2 weeks. And no one will be on the beach, so you don't have to worry about getting sick because they're all quarantined from it. Right? Just take the boat way the fuck out somewhere where they don't even know, where you were telling me those secluded places were. Then you just go to the beach there. You're there by yourself. No one else is even there. Right? That's how you do it.
Well, a lot of hotels down here are open, and they have their own private little beaches with their own umbrellas and all set up. It's worth it just... I mean, I'm tempted just to go down and do that myself just so I can go to the beach,
Why? Is it cheaper or more money?
Well, depending on where you stay, it's anywhere between $200 and $350 without getting crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Just for one night.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is crazy. See where the boat comes in? You just drive the boat to your own little beach somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. They're gonna transform how everything happens. Well, we were talking about this happening anyway.
Long time. You know what? What were we talking about here?
We were saying that robots were taking over a lot of jobs. And
I had a whole list of shit. I'm gonna go through my list, okay?
Go through your list.
You pick something that you think you want to talk about. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Some things you won't understand. Okay.
Right.
Let's see. Oh, ever since TikTok, more unnecessary trees are getting cut down. That's just a joke. Forget it. Do times stop becoming unprecedented after a while? It's like, you ever watch the commercials? It's like, we're in unprecedented times. It's like, when do we get to the point? Is there a time limit on that? You know what I'm saying? Where it's not unprecedented anymore. Just let's. It's like,
right.
I think that's what the president should come out and announce.
It's the first day. One day it lasts.
Right.
After that, and it changed from there on in.
Right.
So it only happens like once, and it goes on. Right. Like.
Right.
That's perhaps a year. Let's say it lasts a year
because. When I'm watching a commercial and they're like, during these unprecedented times, we're having a 50% sale.
Isn't Miss America just for 1 year, right? We'll say
1 year, Miss America.
You have to benchmark it off of something.
All right, so I can stop with having to hear unprecedented time after about February of next year. Mm-hmm. Is that what you're thinking?
Okay, now here's my subject.
Wait, I got a whole list of them.
Well, I get to say one too.
Here's one. Here's one. If I was on Naked and Afraid, you know how you get to bring something?
I was just talking about this the other day.
Here's what I'm bringing. You want to know what I want to bring?
What?
A mosquito net. Because every show I watch that really sucks, they're getting like eaten alive by bugs. So I want to make sure that doesn't happen to me when I go on that show. So I just have a mosquito net. That's worth its weight in gold, in my opinion, out there. What's yours? What's your thing you're bringing?
Hello?
Yeah, I lost you. Were you going to get the thing you were going to bring? Is that what you were doing?
No, what I would bring is whoever the chick is who's on the show.
Yeah.
Her best friend.
Oh, right. Her better looking sister.
Yeah. That's what I want to bring. The one thing I want to bring is her sister.
Wow.
They'd have to do it, right?
Yeah, you get to pick one thing.
No one ever thought of that. I'd be like, you know what, if we were snuggling, and, one side would be warm. Now both sides will be warm. Think about it.
Right. Well, then you could have one to cook the food and then one to do the dishes.
And then when you go to sleep at night, because you don't even have a blanket, you can make a sandwich. An Anthony sandwich.
Oh, my God. Here's another thing I wrote down. Ready?
What?
Burner phones?
No.
You know what a burner phone is?
Nope.
It's like a phone you just go buy. You don't have a plan. You just go buy this phone. And then it's...
throwaway phone?
Yeah, right.
A disposable phone?
To me, those things should be illegal. Why? Because nothing good is ever coming out of that, it seems. It's like, no matter what you're getting that for, it's always something that you shouldn't be doing, whatever it is.
Those phones are designed for the irresponsible.
Is that it?
Yeah, of course, because, I broke my phone and they gotta mail me one and shit, so I gotta have my broken phone till it comes in, then I mail the other one back. Because it's for $50.
So you get the burner phone in the meantime?
Well, no, I don't, because, if it was totally broke, it was just a screen, so it'll work all the way till the phone comes. Yeah. Sometimes they're totally broken. You have no phone till it shows up in the mail. That's when you might want to get a burner phone. But people who don't have a real phone company, they just want day by day thing.
Or they want to have a side phone where their girlfriend calls or they are committing a crime.
Well,
it's like every time I'm watching they
break their phone so much that they don't want to be inconvenienced with the whole process of making the claim and all that shit with the $50. So they just get a phone every week because theirs is probably broke by then. That's the irresponsible part.
Well, every time I'm watching a crime show, it's like they can't track the guy who's, whoops, I heard some feedback. The guy who commits the crime, who's like really good at committing it, you know what I'm saying? Like the pro, he always has a burner phone. They're like, oh, we could have tracked his phone, but it was, I'm sure he had his real phone on him too.
It's pretty hard to pull off a big crime nowadays because they got you on camera picking your nose somewhere between here.
Yeah.
Like say you were going to commit a crime, so you decide, I'm not going to drive there because I don't want them to see where I'm driving, right? So you find a way to walk there or something, get there without a vehicle. But they could still track you probably all the fucking way back,
The only way you could do it is you couldn't bring your phone. And then
you'd have to wear a costume. But they could still.
And then you'd have to find a way to get there that wasn't in any place that, in some
cameras.
Right. Like you'd have to walk through some fields or something.
I think that's how they found those dudes from the Boston, the marathon. Was that in Boston or whatever?
Yeah.
Remember that thing?
Yeah.
I think they traced these dudes. They could see who put that thing there with cameras all the way back to where they started. Because there's enough cameras if they go, like to a gas station to here, they'll get a little clip of you going through. That's how they found those dudes. There's nowhere to start from that they're not already watching your ass, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Somewhere they're going to pick you up on a camera. If they hit every store, they start a map of where you went. And it could be, let's say you wore some kind of costume. They'll trace your ass back to the Walmart that you bought that fucker at on the cameras.
Well, do you ever watch Forensic Files, that show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not necessarily even by credit card, which then you're really stupid if you bought anything with a credit card.
Right.
But they'll find you paying for cash in that store buying a hoodie or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
It's there, and those cameras are so delicate,
right. You know what you could do? You could, let's say, switch the UPC code on the items you buy.
You'd have to do it like this. Go to garage sales. Find
it.
When the garage sale's over, you go through their garbage. They throw a lot of stuff away. You can't be there because you don't want them to witness that you bought that at a garage sale either, see? One time I thought I left some shit in my cart, so I asked them at Home Depot, I'm like, hey, can you look on the camera to see if I even grabbed the shit? They came back there like, we got you loading it in your car, the items that were missing, I had the receipt.
Wow.
They could see what the fuck you were doing. I told them I knew. I gave her the receipt so she knew when. She went back in the office, came out a minute later. Said, I looked at the video, saw you load your car and put it in the car.
We did the same thing at my work.
I found it on the job later, that bag of shit I was missing. It was just a real big job and the shit, I couldn't find.
Yeah.
But she knew everything I did all the way to like I said, if I picked my nose, she probably saw it.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of videos. You never Google that. I'm in the industry and I never Google that, like weird shit found on CCTV videos. That can't be good.
Right.
Yeah. You see like dogs like fucking attacking people and shit in the junkyard.
You ever see the thing I don't know where I saw it, but it'll be this guy, he kind of sounds like a whiner, and he's talking about ghosts and shit in the background. If you look in this video, you'll see. You ever see that dude?
Mm-hmm.
I want to smack him if I ever met
him. He's on no, I don't know who he is.
I'll send you one, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's like weird CCT. Is that what it's called? Whatever surveillance cameras.
Yeah, surveillance cameras
going on. It's like,
I got one in my place.
This guy's a ghost. He walked right through the fence and shit. And weird shit like that. I don't know if the cameras could accidentally not record it right or whatever.
Right.
But it sure looks like he walked through the fence, and they're like, where the hell did he go?
Cool. Anything can be done on camera now. It's like, there's so many things that are not believable.
Looks pretty funny. Yeah, right?
Yeah. I've seen some I think look so realistic, and I think, how the hell did this dude make this? But
if you showed people these videos, like people that have been dead for a long time, like our great grandparents, if they were right now and never saw this shit, they would probably freak them out. Because remember how real Star Wars looked? You were like, wow, this is awesome. Now it looks like some stupid movie that you could make yourself with a couple claymations.
It's like, remember when we were kids and they would show like these monster movies from the 20s and stuff, and it looked like the thing was hanging from a string.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean.
That's what Star Wars looks like now.
If you showed those people from then the horror movies
it looks pretty good. I watched it the other day, and the original Star Wars does look pretty cool. But
it still looks way fake compared to shit today, though. And that was, you never thought it'd be any more realistic than that. You thought that was the peak at that point. You're like,
even the first Transformers has a bit of weirdness to it.
Right? But if you showed, like, my grandpa a horror movie today, he'd probably have nightmares.
You'd probably have to lock him up.
Like,
or show my grandma Dorothy.
Yeah. 4-year-old today. She'd have nightmares because she'd believe how real it was.
She'd cry, I guarantee it. She wouldn't be able to watch it.
I know.
Either of my grandmas, for that matter.
Remember the first time we watched Jaws?
Imagine walking in and your grandma, like Grandma Jones, and they're like, hey, let's watch this movie I got. You put something on like that.
Remember, check this out. This is how crazy we were. We go to Florida with our parents.
Right.
When was that? The 70s, probably. When Jaws came out.
Right.
Then our parents went out. I don't know if they got us a babysitter or what, but they went out and saw Jaws. And then the next day, they took us to see it. Ron did, remember?
No.
We used to go, every day we went on our rafts and we went a mile off the beach snorkeling, remember? We were crazy back then.
I know.
Then he took us to see Jaws in Florida, and that's what we were doing every day, going out there by himself. I think he did that on purpose to scare us. Right?
Maybe, I don't know.
And it didn't affect us. We went right fucking back out there like, fuck it. He probably thought, holy shit, these are some tough kids.
Yeah.
That same day, we probably went right out there swimming, dude. You know, it might have made us think a little more cautiously about sharks, but it didn't stop us from going out a bit. Dude, I'm more scared now to go out there.
Me too. So many things go through my mind now when I'm out there. I can't stop it. Even in relatively shallow water, I'm fucking freaking out.
I'm more scared of the ocean now than when I was a kid. And we just saw Jaws, the movie, for the first time back in the 70s. That thing was like, it freaked everybody out, that movie. And it didn't faze us a bit.
You know what I noticed since I've been in Florida is, like, I have dreams about alligators, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's funny how your brain either has some mechanism that, because I know I should stay away from them even though I don't, and something in my dreams is telling me to, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I think animals have that, like, when you see your dog, like, he's running, it's like, he's running from a bigger dog probably or something. You know?
If I were you, I would have bought a couple of things. I would have bought that slip for the sharks, a couple of them. Put one on my ankle and one on my wrist.
Yeah.
They're like it puts out an electric field that keeps sharks away from you. I would definitely have that. Because if it works even a little bit, it seems like you'd be stupid not to have that.
Yeah, maybe I will get that.
And then another thing I would get is they have a little...
What's if it accidentally attracts them and it's doing the opposite?
It doesn't. They showed... I've never heard of that ever happening, but I've seen a lot.
I mean, that would be funny.
Okay. You should look it up at some of the videos.
I'm gonna look it up now that you mention it.
Then they have a little scuba tank that, it's like a little, what do they call that? A regulator you put in your mouth?
Yeah, I've seen
With a little tank hanging on the side, and you can pump it up. It comes with a hand pump. And it lasts like 10 minutes. I would get that for sure.
Yeah, the problem is the weight. There's no, if you don't have the weight on you to hold you down, it's so hard to use something like that.
Well, then you have to get those too, I guess. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
You can weight belt.
Unless you really swim way down there, Just
get one of those sand vests, like, for working out.
Yeah.
Right.
It's fucking weird.
Okay. And then another thing I would get is a big ass fucking knife, them ones they strap to your leg.
Yeah.
I'd get one on each leg. Because what if he's got a hold of the arm that's on that side?
Yeah, imagine showing up to the beach and you got a knife strapped to your leg.
I would have two of them, man. What if the shark's got the arm, your knife's on the right side? He's got your right arm in his mouth.
Well, you could reach over to the other leg and pull the knife out.
I'd be ready with the left hand quick.
Yeah.
And maybe one of those harpoon guns you see on TV. I don't know how real those are, but I'm sure it's illegal to harpoon a shark, but I don't want to argue.
No, if it's going to kill you, I don't think it is.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm sure that it's kind of like this thing with the guns and the masks and shit. Like, it's supposed to be illegal to use a concealed weapon and have a mask on, if you commit a crime or whatever.
And now you have to wear a mask.
Yeah, so now it's like throwing all these. So if you're out there, I would check my local rules and see if they've given you a pass on that before I go out with my conceal and I'm wearing a mask. It's a felony,
The first thing I thought of was, listen, here's what they're going to do. Everybody has to wear a mask. Now, you think most people don't know a lot about Chicago, but I'm going to give you a little bit of information about it. There's a huge area of troublemakers. And when you told them you have to wear a mask, now I bet there's a bunch of red bandanas covering a bunch of dudes and a bunch of blue ones, and they're all walking around concealed. They're like, they were waiting for the day.
Oh, yeah, they're loving this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prior to this, you couldn't wear one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They were trying that and they got in trouble for it. Now they all can wear their fucking thing. Like, hell no. They're not showing none of that.
Sometimes I see these people in department stores on these videos and shit that I've been watching, and they're yelling at people who are wearing masks. It's like, the world's taking you over, and it's like, can't people just mind their own business? It's like, I'm so sick of, if I want to wear a mask, just leave me alone. Don't spew your conservative bullshit line of lies to me just because you're in a store not wearing a mask and I'm wearing one. Just keep it to yourself. Go home and say it to the people. You guys all get together with your red hats and you can all sit around a fire and talk about this shit. You don't have to throw it at me.
You know those little beanie hats you wear in the winter? They're little stocking caps. I have one that says, no thank you, on, right? And I wear it on the back of the hat. Most people who wear it in the front, mine's in the back. So when people see it, they're like, I've already walked past.
No thank you.
Them. And then they see no thank you. Like,
it's like, dude, just mind your own business.
Right? Like,
if I want to wear a mask, let me wear a mask.
By the time they see the no thank you, I'm past them like, no thank
crying.
You. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya.
No one's trying to control you. Don't wear a mask if you don't want to wear one. It's fine.
You know what? You know why God invented the internet? For little people like me. So I could bully people back without getting my ass kicked. Is that
it? You could be an ugly, goofy, weird doofus and bully people.
Yeah. This is the payback. The whole time they're all pissed typing, motherfucker. I'm laughing.
Yeah.
I got them close to a heart attack. Hold up. Then you look at their profile. Yeah, he could have a heart attack from this. You look at how they look, all unhealthy and fat.
It's not even a real picture most of the time.
Okay. So. I remembered a couple of my jokes. Here you go.
Huh.
The people who are wearing these masks should wear them over their jennies so that they don't have offspring that are gullible enough to wear these masks all day. Didn't the doctor say don't wear a mask, it won't do any good, but in the beginning now they're saying it will?
Yeah. I don't know what it is that is making all these rules different.
There's so many things that could, the possibilities, you know what I'm saying? They're like conspiracy theories, whatever you want. Take the conspiracy part off what I just said. Theory. Just say theory. Okay? What if this could be a possibility? You know? Not it is, and everyone gets all mad if you don't believe it, what you think, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think it could be it's a multitude of things, and if the government is lying about one of them, that should be something that you should be concerned with. That's all I'm saying. And I'm pretty sure they're lying about some of it.
They're fixing, some places they're fixing the numbers, and you don't know. Yeah. None of that shit's
Even
real.
if they did that, say they did that. Okay, right. That's bad enough. Okay? Because they know there's gullible people out there that are going to fall for stuff a little more than others. And when people say, well, you're not taking this serious. Oh, bullshit, I'm not. I've been paying attention to shit like this way longer than other people have. In fact, I knew about this before. We were talking about it last year, remember?
Yeah.
I've known about the coronavirus for a long time.
Right.
And I knew about, when I was in high school, I refused to do they wanted you to practice on this doll, okay?
Yeah.
PR and shit. And I told the teacher, this was before the teacher knew about it, about HIV. And the teacher's like, how do you know about this? I'm like, cause I read shit about this kind of thing. I don't have comic books. I have real.
I watch PBS.
Remember I used to get all the magazines? I got like 12 magazines a month. Time magazine.
Yeah.
National Geographic.
It would be random ones. It would be random ones.
So what ends up happening? They make a faceplate that comes off that thing later. After they found out about it.
Yeah, and now they're floating in the ocean somewhere, probably just killing a turtle. Good job.
I failed the class because I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, every kid in the school put their mouth on this, so the odds are I could catch anything.
That's when you pick the hottest chick out in the class, and you're like, I'm only going to do it on her. That's the only way I get out of this class. That's the kind of thing I'd do. Get me in trouble with her boyfriend and shit, and then they'd find out my best friend was the toughest kid in school, and all that would be fucking gone.
Right.
That was pretty convenient when you're in school.
Mm-hmm.
People who find out who my best friend was, they'd be like, leave him alone. I'd hear people say that to other people. I don't think you want to fuck with him.
Right.
I'd be like, dude, I didn't do nothing. I didn't ask to be his friend. What do you think happened there? I don't know. Oh, God. It's pretty weird when your friend is the toughest kid in school and he never fought anybody. It was like, because nobody wanted to give it a shot, you know? They were like, nah, we'll let that go.
Well, check this out. This chick I know, his daughter, she's in high school, right? So her and her boyfriend, we were eating dinner, and I was asking him how the school thing went. You know, how does it work actually?
Yeah.
Had an idea they were doing shit online and whatnot. So he said, well, basically what you're supposed to be doing is doing your so much, I think it was by time, so many hours per day. every day on the computer. I said, so essentially you could just hire some little punk kid and get you straight A's now, right? And while you work.
Yeah.
That's pretty simple. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be sleeping till noon and have some kid at home or however you do, he comes over and he fucking types your shit up.
You can't trust any of that shit anymore.
Well, some little bookworm kid could probably do all this shit in like 10 minutes. And then you just pay him and then you get a job. That's what I told this kid. Because I'm sure you could make way more money than it's going to cost to pay this kid to do a little bit of your homework.
And get way better grades.
Yeah, it seems like this is a win-win to me. These kids are getting luckier and luckier. Like, there's vending machines in the school. I'm like, damn, our teachers used to make us almost dehydrate.
Yeah.
You get a fucking drink of water, man.
Get a Coca-Cola.
Then they check you at line up at the drinking fountain and pass germs, and then they'd be like, you've had enough, like this. You get a little slurp. Fucking asshole, Nazi, fucking teacher.
You got a hall pass and shit.
Your teacher could smack you one back then.
That hall pass didn't say you could get a drink?
I told where the fuck was I? I said, here's how this was my second grade teacher. I even remember her name. Miss Taggart was her name. Every 15 minutes, she'd be like, open your workbook for communications to page 18 and do number 3, 6, 9, 15, 1, 8, and 20. Then she'd go right across the hall was the teacher's lounge. She'd smoke about 3 cigarettes and a joint, and she'd come back, and then she'd go, oh, I didn't say do 21. F.
Wow, that's harsh. I just do them all.
10 cigarettes a day. She'd tell us to
I
do
had
something.
A teacher that smoked. He couldn't make it through a whole class without.
She smoked all, and she stunk big time. And if you're a kid and you never smoked, you could smell that shit a block away.
Oh yeah, you knew every teacher that smoked.
She came back half coughing.
Right.
Who knows what she was doing, having a couple belts off a fucking bottle of fucking Crown
Making fun
Royal.
of all the students.
One time she set the garbage on fire. The alarm went off. The whole school evacuated. But she fucking threw her ashes in the garbage can.
One time, my chemistry teacher in high school, he was like the best teacher too. He won like the special award for the whole state and stuff. Well, one day he dumped like a chemical out the window that was just an inert chemical. And then a couple days later he dumped another inert chemical out there. Well, then it rained, and those two chemicals mixed together and made... It made ether. It made ether, and that drifted up into the math class above, and everybody like fell asleep. It's like
half the people were sleeping anyway.
Yeah, they couldn't even tell probably for 20 minutes. And then,
that's fucked up. I was thinking about it. I found my little bracelet that I had on when I was a baby. Or this is the one my mom had on, but the babies had one on too. And it's a bunch of beads that probably have lead in them. And then there's a little piece of lead, like a sinker, where they pinch the string together to hold it on your wrist. So doctors weren't that smart 50 years ago. I need to tell you. People gave them too much credit, I think. Right? Think about this. Say you were a brain surgeon, for instance. Could you tell the difference? The sponge fell. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hold on.
Say you're a brain surgeon, right? Because this guy goes, well, they're hiring brain surgeons, like, if you need a job, so you do a lot of school, granted, and you have to have a good memory, of course, because you have to memorize a lot of fucking big words and whatnot, but how many brain surgeries, say you did your first brain surgery, you have to remove a tumor or something. After you did it once, it'd be like, how hard could it possibly be to take a tumor out of someone's brain? You know what I mean? It'd take a long time to the point where they were going to allow you to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
School
once you get to the point where you're able to do it.
point where you took a brain tumor out, it's no different than skinning a squirrel and fucking having a barbecue. Basically. Yeah. You're pretty much after you achieve the
right.
All the credentials or whatever it takes, a PhD or I don't know how long it takes to become a brain surgeon, but I bet it's not easy to get through the school part.
I'm sure, yeah.
But
it's a lot of bullshit you gotta go through. Once you did all that bullshit that it takes to get you there.
It seems like you can let a few people, like say, you know which ones to pick. Like first someone would have to say they want to do it. Say I wanted to do this. I walk in there and I say, listen, I really think I could do this tumor thing.
Yeah.
What do you mean? And I'll be like, I don't want to do none of the other shit, learn about bones and all that shit.
Right. I just want to take tumors out of brains.
Yep. And
it's almost like shop class. It's like, why wouldn't it be anything?
I'm going to watch you do a couple, and I think I can fucking do it.
It's like a shop class you're in. You're like, what shop class you in? I'm like, oh, I took tumors out of brains. That's my shop
then you're
class.
Like, watch me do my first one, and then you sign off on it, like you're an apprentice.
Yeah. There's probably people who are better at it that don't know all that science bullshit and that aren't getting to do it.
Yeah. Because they couldn't pass 12 years of fucking medical school.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a good enough memory to memorize all the words and medicines and all that bullshit.
Right. It's more of a skill thing, you're saying, and less of a, like if you're going to be a theoretical guy or some kind of scientist who makes medicine or whatever that bullshit is, then you got to know all that chemical bullshit. But if you're just taking tumors out of brains, it seems like
all you do is take
a dude who can rebuild a fucking transmission is probably better at it than than some dude who knows all that fucking scientific bullshit.
Everything's all set up. They got him cut open. Everything's ready to go. Then this guy comes in. He's got fucking.
He just rebuilt a transmission an hour ago. He comes in.
Does the brain tumor. Walks out. And then they do all the medicine and all the anesthesiology. He doesn't know nothing about none of that. And he leaves, they sew him up, do all the fucking rest of it.
Yeah, right.
He's like, what'd you do today? I did 2 transmissions, a brake job, and 3 tumors, man.
3 tumors. Oh, man. That seems right to me. Because those guys who know all that math shit, like me and like people that know all the chemistry and shit, they don't seem to be that coordinated a group of people, you know what I'm saying? They're typically not your coordinated bunch.
This guy, he's pretty successful, and I was doing a job for him, and he said that he told one of his workers that was kind of whining one day that they're hiring brain surgeons over there at the hospital, and maybe he should apply over there. And I thought about that. There's like 4 different cut downs in that one statement. One is like, you're not capable of doing it. One is, the other cut down is, like what you're doing here isn't really brain surgery. So if you wanted more money, maybe you should go. Yeah. Then there's like 2 more. I can't think of them, but I thought of them before. There's 4 cut downs in that one statement. It's crazy.
He probably uses it a lot.
Other cut down would be like that he didn't mind that you just bailed. You know what I mean? And not like.
Imagine being the new brain surgeon. There's like already a couple brain surgeons there, and like you're the new guy. It's like you show up.
I started to think about it.
It's fucking scary.
I thought to myself, what you should have said to him was, you know what? Maybe I will go apply because and then this is what I made me think of this whole brain surgery thing.
Yeah.
Because once you throw one of these down, and then once I go do it, because this guy's kind of young, he's like 30, so he could go to school and be a brain surgeon. He could.
Right.
But anything's possible. So I mean, if I said it, I'm older, they'd question it, but I guess it might be possible. I might live long enough to finish school, but anyway. What I would have said back, I told him, this kid later, he's like the main guy though. He's like probably 30 years old or some shit, pushing it. I said, what you should have said was, you know what, maybe I will go back to school because they have a lot of stuff online and whatnot. Because think about it. Once you did one brain surgery, I guess eventually it'd be real easy. It'd be a piece of cake. How hard could it possibly be to take a tumor out of a brain?
Yeah.
And then I would,
because the expectations are so low. It's like, the guy's lips don't work. It's like, well, hey, that's what happens to brain surgery. It's like there's almost like you built an excuse, for every mistake you make.
Then I would have said this. I could have really came back with this. But you know what the cool thing would be is once I do my first brain surgery, I'd be the first one that could build a house and a brain surgery. Because none of them punk ass bitches could build a house.
They're about to shoot some people, not too long from now, they're about to shoot some people up into space, like America is for the first time in like a while. And it seems like we spent a fortune over the last 40 years. And they're not sure they can even do this. I mean, they're reasonably sure, but I'm sure there's a certain amount of doubt. It's like, what have they been doing with all this money? It's like, if they had given me that NASA money from way back when I was young till now, trust me, we'd be all up in space fucking having fun. It's like, what are they fucking doing?
Wasting money like crazy, dude.
They are, man. We should be way further advanced in space than we are.
There may be about 90 million people working right now. Okay? There's 333 million people in this country. Okay? And there was 65,000 million people on unemployment last December of 2019. And that's over 100 million right now. Okay? There's 120 million people that either are retired or haven't joined the workforce below the age of 18. There's not going to be enough tax money after this year to fucking sustain shit.
Yeah.
They better start printing money and you know what could happen? Now, everyone who's on public housing, those apartments are owned by a private owner and then they rent them. The government rents them for people. They don't own the buildings. There may be a few they own, but a majority of them are just rented. So if they can't, we're talking about maybe $500 billion worth of tax revenues coming from income tax from these people that are working right now on the average. And we spent $4.7 trillion last year. We're going to be way fucking behind the 8 ball when it comes to, by the end of this year, when it comes to putting numbers together.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
And way behind.
They're going to have to tax those people more. The people
that are working now
are going to get taxed more.
They gave out right now. This guy, I try to razz people up on the internet because then I want to hear what they have to say in their state and shit. This guy's arguing me on Facebook.
I don't care. Listen.
But wait, listen to. He said the governor of Illinois is 100% legit and he's not involved. I'm like, of Illinois? I don't even know the guy. So I started researching shit. And there's a lot of companies in Illinois that got that relief fund loan that might not have to be paid back. And there's certain criteria that you have to meet in order to get that loan, which made me ineligible. And one of the things that the things you have to meet was you weren't allowed to be able to lay anybody off because it's supposed to sustain their paycheck is what it's for.
Yeah.
And not only do you can't lay anyone off, or you couldn't have laid anyone off prior to this is one of the criterias. Then the amount of people that work for you up to 500 can put you in the small business category. That's what this was called, small business. Well, there's a window in there, which is crazy, that allows food chains and hotels to have, they have to have, say they have 6,000 employees, okay, which Potbelly's has 6,000 employees nationwide. They're allowed to have, to get this loan, they got $10 million, right? Well, and the condition that's different with a food chain is 500 people per location. They don't have to meet that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it right, but what fucking restaurant has 500 people at it, dude? Come on, that's fucking bullshit. There ain't a restaurant ever had 500 fucking employees in one location. They wrote that in like, beep, beep. Here, we're giving all this money. They got $10 million, and they've been laying people off. Same thing with Subway. Have been laying people off, and that's another stipulation that they were not allowed to lay people off. Subway
well, there's no one who's enforcing this. Like, how could you go to every business and enforce who they're laying off and not?
Right.
It's like, there's just no way to enforce it. It's all just words on a piece of paper when no one enforces it.
Remember how you were telling me that your son said they would have robots running McDonald's?
Yeah.
And by the key. That's going to happen. And I think they're waiting till after the election before they actually put that in. But they're damn near at that point.
Yeah.
There's a drive-through restaurant right now, and they almost throw the food at you like a fucking robot arm would.
Right.
And pretty much they're getting out of having to have the liability insurance for people walking in the dining room. And they don't have to facilitate it.
Oh, yeah. Like Sonic is already set up for this. It's like,
right.
You ever go to Sonic?
Yeah.
They're like already like perfect for a virus restaurant design.
Right. You're going to see a kitchen. McDonald's will be a kitchen with robots and maybe one or two people feeding food into them. And there's no...
If I were McDonald's, I would make my new places look like Sonic. Because people just pull up, they order, someone brings them the food, they either eat it fucking there in their car or they leave.
Right.
It's simple. It's like you don't have any problems, really. The only problem I see is the bathroom, but other than that...
Rid of the bathroom thing.
I love the McDonald's bathrooms. So, like, if I'm ever out on the road and I'm in a hurry and I'm lost, it's like I look for a McDonald's. And I go to the bathroom, I just leave. I don't even buy the food.
Think about this. If they only have a drive-through, then they get rid of the lobby. They're going to save so much money.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's no cashier, and those bathrooms are probably a lot to maintain every year.
Yeah.
Plus, the liability insurance for you walking in that place is going to go away. It's going to be an incredible savings on their part for you to never have to come in there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I was telling someone, when we were kids, they had Ronald McDonald that went from restaurant to restaurant. Some guy dressed up.
Yeah.
We were all happy. It was like a parade. It was crazy. I said, and then the whole Gacy thing happened, and they quit doing that there.
Is that what stopped it?
He ruined all the clown things.
Yeah. Clowns are scary enough, you know. You don't have to make them worse. God. Is there no Ronald McDonald anymore, like, as an advertising thing? It's like... I never saw McDonald's mention that in years.
Get rid of them.
Yeah, the whole thing. The whole Hamburglar, the whole... What was it all?
The whole thing was like a scam.
Yeah. I haven't been there in years, except for to go to the bathroom. That's the only thing that McDonald's is.
I don't even know if that's even food.
Yeah.
It's great.
I try to eat regular food that I make. I like Chick-fil-A, though, if I'm going to pick a place that I had to go to.
Right.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this other thing, but we're out of time, so...
Well, let's do one more. We need to do some video.
Like, it's called a Karen meme. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
You never heard of a Karen meme?
Nope.
See, there's a whole thing we could do on that. I could just splice it into another show. But
hey,
it's
did you ever put that video up of me doing the
I want to put the one with the mask up. I haven't done any work on any kind of HTML stuff because
put that video I sent you of me doing.
I was studying I started studying this thing.
Maybe they'll try the challenge and see if they could do it.
It's called Euler's Rule. And
we'll start a challenge, right? While people are at home. There hasn't been more of a challenge than...
Yeah.
People are like, we're having a quarantine pub night, right?
Can we call it the chin-up challenge?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Well, check this out. You know why they kept all...
Well, you could do that on TikTok. You just create a, what do you call it, like a thread, or thread would be like on Reddit, but like you create a...
Shit, dude.
Huh?
Listen to... You know how they kept all...
I put you on TikTok, by the way. I put a video of you.
Doing what?
You remember when you had that wig on and you were like pretending to be Ozzy with glasses? So. Yeah, I recorded that on a camera that I had, and I put that on TikTok.
On a camera? When did I do it though?
It was a while ago. I was filming the computer, and you were on the computer like on Skype.
Oh, okay.
And
yes.
Dude,
do the chin-up challenge. See if anyone can do that. I doubt they can.
You should.
Because you know what
Can
happened?
you text me that video?
I'll try. See if I can find it.
Because I'll put it on TikTok.
He had a chin-up bar, and he was doing a bunch of chin-ups, and we hadn't seen him in a while, and he's all buff and like working out, and he's like, look at this, and then we're like, oh yeah, he's like pulling up 10 pull-ups. So I did him with one finger. He was like, what? That's when I knew I could do it.
Wow.
Probably could have done more than 10 in a row, because I did that twice in a row. I filmed it twice.
There's already a thing out there where people hang, like see how long you can hang for.
I was trying to see how I was, just make a video real quick. What I should have done was just tried to see how many I could do. I probably could have done about 15 at that time. I should try it again. I still have the bar. 10's good enough. Let me see a motherfucker do 10.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Or just most people can't do 10 chin-ups in just general.
We should have a contest to guess my weight.
Guess your weight. Guess how many jelly beans are in this jar.
That's really important because if I weighed more, I probably could.
That's a legitimate TikTok video. How many jelly beans are in this jar?
Dress up like Ray Rayner.
Yeah.
And do it. See if anyone knows who you're bugging. Yeah.
Nobody would
He was
know.
one weird looking motherfucker, huh? Now that you think about it.
Yeah, it's like he was working in the warehouse one day, and they're like, hey, why don't you come out here and announce for these cartoons? It's like they took him out of the warehouse.
We're going to give you a new name. And they're all drunk. How about Ray Rayner? What kind of name is that?
Yeah, it don't even make sense.
My prediction is that
he would never have made it today. I guarantee it.
Right. We need to do more videos. I think we'd be better off.
Huh. I could do this whole thing as a video.
The next project I work on, I'm going to video. I wish I had a GoPro or something.
Oh, you should see what I got. I got the Meltdownia cameras.
I'm going to pretend like I'm, that smart ass guy. You should see this little act I do when I'm explaining what I'm doing, like in the remodel. Mm-hmm. It's hilarious. I had these people laughing their ass off. I'm like pretending, well, the customer wasn't there. We were just joking around. But if I could just have someone I know pretend they're the customer and do that little skit, they would laugh. They would be a great video. I'm telling them like we're talking about their master bathroom and I'm just being like a real blunt about it.
I'll call you back.
All right. Let me make one of those videos and then we'll put that up.
Bye.
Because didn't they say they wanted more content?
I don't know.
Spotify or something?
I'm good, though, in that respect. We got to do more shows.
All right. We'll do one a day. Just call me when you're ready.